Well, good evening. Hopefully this is live streaming and I still haven't got the used to this. You can put them up on live streams and I can never seem to get the same one to attach to OBS. So hopefully I've got a monitor down here. Hopefully you are seeing me, hearing me. If you can hear and see me, let me know in the chat. I'd love to know. My screen, it's just going now. So hopefully I can see me, and hopefully we're live. Good to see you. If we are live, yes, good to see you on here. Just let me know in the chat, as I say, if you can see and hear me. I really would appreciate it because I've got no idea how many people are on. 11 people watching already. Also, while I'm here, before we get into this properly, if you just want to hit the little like, somebody's hit the like already. Thank you for that. Hi, Brian, Steve Debs. Hope you're well. I can see and hear you. Thanks, Diane. Good evening, everybody. It is just gone 10 o'clock. It's 1 minute past 10 Cyprus time, 1 minute past 8 UK time. Good to see you all on channel. Second of my live streams on my path to Paphos. Still in an echoey room. My room is very echoey here. I'm starting to get a bit used to this. Used to do live streams on my photography channel, but I did one a couple of weeks ago on here. I really enjoyed doing it. Don't have the gear across. I've got a new microphone coming tomorrow. I got sent a microphone for my other channel, for my photography channel, to check out and see if it works and how good it works. So I've got that to check. So the next one, I might have a new fancy mic to do. It's not going to be reviewed on this channel. It's I will mention it, but it's going to be reviewed properly for my photography channel. But take it from there. But hopefully a new mic. I'm just going to cover this every so often. I have a small cough. I don't try to avoid deafening you too much. Good to see everybody online. I'm going to make a quick look through the first comments. Yep, everybody's saying that they can see and hear me. Thank you very much. Well, I started because it's the different thing. The thumbnail that was up there isn't right for this one. It's all gone to pot. It's all gone very pear-shaped. But one of the things we're going to talk about tonight is the safety over here, because obviously it's been a very interesting time and it's still having some huge repercussions directly on me and other people. But I know a lot of people in the UK have been watching my channel, and you'll have seen some of the other videos I've done recently about my opinion, but I just want to expand on that a bit tonight and tell you what I'm really seeing and really feeling out here. Well, if we go for the work side, I came across here 1 year and 6 days ago. Although I say I emigrated over here in April last year, that's when I moved into the house. But I actually came across here on the 5th of March, 2025. And that's when we went into the hotel for a fortnight to do all the prep work to try and find out if it was going to work, how we could get accommodation, how we could get somebody rented, what I would have to do for my residence, all sorts of things. And we thought it was going to be a difficult thing. We booked for 2 weeks at the Atlantica Golden Beach Hotel up at Cusanerga, and lovely hotel. If you haven't been, it's one of my favorite hotels on the island, actually. So if you haven't been there, it is one of the favorite ones of mine. Adults only, but I love it. And our plan was go all inclusive for a fortnight, come across, make it a working break, go to Gwynny's on the first day that we'd already arranged to do, see what it was going to entail, spend the day doing fact-finding, doing research, trying to find property, trying to do this, trying to do that. The first day we were in Gwynny's for 1 hour. We went to West Coast straight after that, and in almost no time we were talking about apartments, and we've been shown out that afternoon for apartments. We basically had a day off on the Friday. That was the Thursday. We had a day off on the Friday. The weekend there was nothing to do except go off and enjoy it ourselves. The Monday we went to West Coast and said we'd changed our mind. We're looking for something a little bit different. They shown us a couple of apartments which I didn't even look at, and they shown us this place, this townhouse in Universal, and we fell in love with it. So by the 1 week point, we'd actually signed the contracts for the house, started my relocation process with Gwynny's, and we had basically a week holiday. Nothing to do. So I went back on the 18th. Strange enough, the 18th was exactly the same age. I was exactly the same age to the day as my dad was when he passed away. So I actually on the 18th of March last year, I outlived both my parents, which is very strange. I went back, Sue stayed here. I was away in the UK for 12 days and I'm back over here. So it is a year since I came across. A year and 6 days today, so it's the 11th. So I've had no regrets being over here. You've seen on the videos, you know what it's all like. I've had no regrets coming across here. But obviously, I knew that because the place is changing, there's more all-inclusive holidays. Bar Street, you go down Bar Street, where it was thriving a few years ago, it's now a ghost town almost. And I managed to get myself some work, but I knew over the Christmas, over the winter, January, February time, it was going to be very, very tight. And I was aware of that. What I wasn't aware of is there was going to be a war, an attack on Iran. And what that's done is it's scared an awful lot of people away from coming over here. It scared a lot of people away from taking the chance to come and have a holiday in Cyprus, especially after the drone hit Akrotiri a week or so back, a week or two back. And that's had a major impact because people weren't getting on the planes. The planes weren't cancelled for safety reasons. People thought the planes were cancelled for safety reasons, or at least the ones coming from Europe, UK and Ireland. They weren't. They were cancelled because people were cancelling the holidays. They got scared, cancelled the holidays, and because it's early season, the planes were only half full anyway. Take away a lot of people from what was on that full half, and you've only got a quarter full plane, which is not economically viable to fly. So the likes of EasyJet and British Airways were cancelling aircraft because they just didn't have enough passengers on them. And I've been speaking to a whole load of people. I spoke to a guy called Peter. Hello, Peter, if you're watching. Peter came across to do the Paphos Marathon last weekend and did a very credible time as far as I know. And he was originally part of I think he said it was either 8 or 9 people running team in the UK, running club in the UK. And they're all going to come across and all cancelled. 2 of them had a family sort of reason, but the other 6 or 7 cancelled because they were scared of what was going on over here. Well, I had coffee with them last week before the run. I had coffee with them yesterday, and this place was Sleepy Hollow. It really was. And he was saying they're going to be kicking themselves for not coming out. I've spoken to hotels who've had cancellations, parties of 12 supposed to be coming over and only 2 people, 1 couple turn up. Cyprus is very much open. And I did have, on the previous sort of thing, somebody put a message before, the one that didn't go live on this, saying that, it's very nice watching the Greek F-16s go over, which it is. It's been fabulous. Been sitting down the harbour watching these Greek F-16 fighters going up and down the harbour at a fairly low level. It was really, really exciting. But at the same time, it's still incredibly safe here. I don't feel in any way danger. I don't feel in any way threatened. I feel very, very comfortable. And I would say if you've got any plans on coming out, just come. My wife's coming tomorrow. She's flying across. And a week's time, her best friend is coming across to stay for a week as well. So my wife's will have her a fortnight, friend for the second week. And we've got no qualms. I've got no worries, no hesitation in having my family and my friends coming across here. So that's the basic thing. I'm going to have a look through the comments as I go. Diane Antone Studio, I don't understand why people are so quick to cancel. Why do they believe the media? Well, it's interesting. I had a word with my wife the other day and she'd seen about the cancellations. And it's interesting the way the media put things over. We believe the media because that's our main source. And I'm not going to go into the ins and outs, but I lost trust in the media in 2020. I really did. I seriously lost trust in the media. I don't believe a thing which is said on mainstream media anymore. And I haven't since 2020. I very rarely watch TV, but the media is very good. So when I said to my wife last week, I said, why do you think, because it had been announced that EasyJet had cancelled flights until Thursday last week. I said, why do you think that is? And her immediate thing was, well, I presume it's because of the war. I said, yeah. She said, and for safety. See, if they only give you half the story when they tell you on the news, then that's all you can believe. You've got to piece it together. We're in a fortunate position because we're hearing different news sources out here. And I'm talking to people in the airlines. I'm talking to people on the base at Akrotiri. I've had a few conversations with people actually on the camp and seeing what was really going on. And of course, when you know the full story, it becomes less scary. But I do think that, well, nice stories don't sell newspapers. Nice stories don't make the TV news. And I've got a big sort of suggestion that, well, it's what they don't tell you, which is the worst part. We live in this fear because of what? Fear of because of omission rather than what's supplied. And I totally see, but I don't understand why people cancel. I've been involved in war zones in the past during the Gulf War One, in the early 90s. I was involved in that to a degree. And I've been involved in other things like the Lockerbie disaster. I was out on the night that happened, the night that the 747 was blown up over Lockerbie. And the next day, going around finding the remains. So if anybody should be frightened of these things, I've seen it very firsthand, but I'm not. And Cyprus, if you don't watch the news, you wouldn't know anything's going on. Seriously, it's that thing. And I also have this thing that, we're 1,170 miles in Paphos away from the closest border, the closest part of the Iranian border. That's more than the distance between, as a crow flies, between London and Budapest. Not quite as far as London to Bucharest, I think. I think it's between the two. And that's a huge distance. And if it was going to be dangerous over here with Iran, well, surely when the Gulf Wars were going, when it was Iraq, that's a lot closer. And when Syria was going a year or two back, that's closer still. So I totally with you, Diane. I just don't see why people do panic. But of course, if that's the only information they have. Nuts in me, hello both. Just logged in, Brian, can't stay long. Come on to support. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. I am looking forward to you coming out, actually. I'm going to try and get some more information. We were talking about estate agents and things, what's happened to the West Coast, in a private chat between Nuts and me and myself. As far as I know, and this is all hearsay, this is none of it, but it's good authority, that what was West Coast is going to be brought in new form, and I believe it's going to be called Waterside. That's what I've heard, and it's to do with licensing and things. There was rumours of it going bust and things like that. I don't believe that that's true at all. As far as I know, it was to do with licensing and change of ownership and some restrictions on what they could and couldn't trade as after that. But I believe it's going to be coming back as Waterside. Don't quote me on that. But if I do find anything else, I'll put it up on the channel. But yeah, hi, good to see you, Nuts and May, and keep in touch on the private chat. I can't say that word. I can't actually see that word. I've got my iPad down here. I need my glasses. Where's my glasses? I've got some glasses somewhere. I shall put my glasses on and look all officious because I'm struggling. Get older. Never used to be like this when I was younger. Still doesn't help. Hello from Scotland. I can't say the name. I'm not going to even insult you by trying. But hello from Scotland. Which part of Scotland are you in? Are you the one that was on last time when I asked? I seem to remember the name being the same. So yes. Gurpreet Singh. Hello. Gurpreet Singh 107. I was about to come for a hotel job, but currently due to this war, I don't think it's going to be happening soon till this war is over. The problem with hotel jobs, this is the same situation I'm in at the moment. I'll be honest with you. I've got very little work on because the venues haven't got people coming in because people have cancelled. Then you've got this situation where there's nothing going on here, but because people are panicking, they've cancelled. The hotels and the bars and the venues can't afford to put music on because they're not getting anything over the counter to pay for it. Insofar as working for a hotel job, I would actually say go for it. Safety-wise, I think this is still probably one of the safest places in the world, even with what's going on, because we just don't see it. It's just wonderful. I'll be honest, I am a lot more scared for my safety when I go back to the UK. And I live in the UK, just outside Carlisle, which is not a particularly violent place. It's one of the more quiet places, just at the top of the Lake District. So from me, I actually still, even with that, still feel a lot more unsafe back in the UK than I do here. So Gurpreet, I would say if you are thinking about coming over, apologies, I'll get your name wrong, by the way. It's my ignorance rather than anything else. But I would say if you are considering it, just do it. The hotels are starting to open again. In Paphos, the ones who've been closed for the winter are starting to open. Some of them have been open all the time. The good thing with Paphos is Paphos doesn't shut like the East Coast does. Paphos always is still turning over, just on a reduced level, if you like. But you don't say which hotel. I don't know which hotel you were planning on coming into if you had a one in mind. But for me, they are desperate for good staff. They are desperate for holidaymakers to come. Cyprus is very much open. Susan Fox B5D. I'm coming out to Paphos this coming Monday, the 16th. Really looking forward to it. If I see you out and about, I will say hi. Sue from Plymouth. Hi, Sue from Plymouth. I will be with another Sue. I'll be with my wife, so you might see the two of us together if that's the case. But yes, please say hello. And again, enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Everybody I'm speaking to down on the harbour front, everybody I'm speaking to up at Coral Bay, and everybody I'm speaking to in the Kings Avenue Mall, they're enjoying their time over here. They're not in the least bit worried or threatened. So yeah, come over, enjoy yourself. And if you do see me, and this goes for everybody, just say hello. Even if I'm with somebody else, come over, say hi. You know, I love meeting people. Marcus Ford US 66. You're the person who who put the comment on the other one. I think. I'm sure it was your name on there. Oh right, yes, I know who it is. Yes. Great meeting today, Brian. Paphos is the safest place we've been to for years. Yeah, good to see both of you today. It really was really good to meet you and a good lady. So yeah, it was. You should have stayed and had a coffee. I would have quite happily sat and had a coffee with you. But yeah, well, you've left your comment on there. It's you want to leave another one. It is incredibly comfortable and laid back. So yes, nice to see you, and I hope your son's doing okay. I hope your son's doing well on that one. Gurpreet, my work permit is from a hotel in Famagusta. Oh, right, on the east side. Hope to get an air ticket soon. That they won't be quite open yet. The hotels in there, if you've got something, it'll probably be for the setting up, because there's a difference on the east and west. And Famagusta, of course, is on the east coast, right at the divide line, the green line. Yeah, that place is a bit of a ghost town at the moment until the beginning of April. So they'll be getting all the hotels ready and getting it all sorted out. So they probably will be desperate for you to go across there, because April, I would think that we'll probably be getting everybody coming in, and certainly Famagusta, Pretaris, Ayia Napa, that whole place just, I was going to say explodes with people. That's probably the wrong term. Explodes is the wrong term in what we're discussing, but it just goes wild with people. We went across last year to Nissi Beach in the March. And Nissi Beach in the March was beautiful sand. It was quiet. It was lovely. We went later on the year, and when it was on the season, and I couldn't actually see the beach because of people. And instead of being quiet, it was blasting out. It wasn't my scene, I must admit. But when Ayia Napa and Pretaris and when that east side kicks off, wow, does it get very, very busy and very, very full. So I would say jump at the chance for the hotel. They're probably desperate to have people like you across to get the hotel ready for them for the start of the season for them in about April. So yeah. Dottie's Adventure. Hello, sis. Really hoping to get out again soon. Yeah. Dottie's Adventures. If you haven't seen me talk about this, this is my sister. This is Bev, my sister, who lives in the UK. Used to live in Cyprus. Spent 3 years living in Cyprus in the late 90s. She's the reason I'm out here, because I came out to visit her when she was out here. And another one of my friends was also posted over with the Air Force at the same time. So I had a few years where I had friends and family out here. Dottie's Adventures. If you do a search on @Dottie's Adventures, Bev does 2 fantastic channels. Dottie is her Peugeot TP. It was a wheelchair conversion. It's now been converted into a micro camper by her on her own. Mark didn't help very much at all. But yeah, she's got a great little channel. She does videos nicely. I sit and waffle. Bev does all sort of fantastic editing things, and she's very professional, and I'm not. I'm sort of, I just sort of throw it together. But Bev does some really exciting videos. And she's also got another channel called The Good Life, but it's Thorogood, THOROGOOD Life, because the surname is Thorogood, so at Thorogood Life. And they've got two campers. They've got the little micro camper Dottie, named after my mum. My mother was called Dorothy or Dot. So Dottie's Adventures, where Bev goes off on her own and she does some really fantastic adventure. We did actually feature on a video when I went to the UK in November, if you look back there. But also the Good Life channel is the one that she goes off with her husband Mark, and they've got a Consort Reef panel van type motorhome. It's they've been doing that. They had another one called Pete beforehand. Both great channels, both really adventurous. She goes all over the UK and does some fantastic things, so check them out. But yes, I hope you get out again soon. Bev came out last year and we had a really good time, so I'd love to see Bev coming out here. So yeah, CYPLT. Hi Brian, not taking notes of the historical. Getting old. Not taking notice of the hysterical mainstream media. And out again next week to pick up the keys for rental property and continue with our new little YouTube channel, Cyprus Light. Big up Paphos. Right, if that channel's going at the moment, Cyprus Light, I'm going to take a screenshot of that, because if you have a channel, great way to advertise it. I'm pleased you came on and did that. I don't take offense. I know some people take offense. You go on my channel. You're pushing your channel. No. So if you have a channel, Cyprus Light, at Cyprus Light, I'll check that out when we're finished. I can't do it at the moment. But yeah, and I would say to everybody else, check out their channel. But yeah, absolutely not taking the notice of hysterical mainstream media. Absolutely, because it is hysterical. I've seen this over the years, and it took me a long time to realize that. I'm 64 years old, and it took me a long time to realize that the media is not representative of real life. It's a screenshot, and it's like the old sort of adage, good news doesn't sell papers. Well, it's the same when it comes to any of the media, whether it's papers, whether it be the normal mainstream news, the BBC, ITV, Channel 4, whatever it is, but also a lot more of the mainstream type channels on YouTube. There's an awful lot coming through. It's almost TV's unwatched anymore. The biggest number of people, the biggest area to be viewed on YouTube videos now isn't on a computer, it's on a TV set. And that's meaning that production, and like I said before about Bev's production, far better than mine. But production has to be improved because people are used to seeing a certain standard on the TV. And also because the viewing figures on TV are going down, the mainstream news, or the people who were involved in mainstream news, are having to come online. So you're seeing an awful lot more of the mainstream news thing online. And that worries me, because you're back to this same the same narrative, but being pushed down the channels that we've usually had to ourselves. So yeah, I will be checking out Cyprus Light. Does the link include the exclamation mark at the end and the gap in the middle? So that's at Cyprus with a capital C, looks like a space, LITE, then an exclamation mark. If it does, then great. But whatever it is, we'll find it. And if I do that, I'll try and put a link on to the details in this one when it goes out as a normal video afterwards. Okay, I'm going to throw the floor over to you, because I've been going on for a little while, and I want if you have any questions to ask me, I would be more than pleased to try and answer them. Again, just remember, I don't give full advice. That's not my scene, because, well, I'm not all-knowing, and I don't profess to be all-knowing, but I have got quite a bit of experience with coming over here, current experience as well, because I have found that some of the experienced people previously were right in what they were saying, but they'd been here a few years, so it had changed. So Leslie, we were supposed to go last week. We were happy to go. Tui cancelled the holiday the night before at 5 p.m. That's been some of the problem. It's, and I know there's some people who would have liked to have come. Really annoyed. Offered up 10% discount as a compensation. Yeah, but you haven't had the break. You haven't had the holiday, have you? It's a shame, and I'd love to have seen people like you managing to get over here, because as I say, for me, my work is quiet at the minute. Very, very quiet. I'm still doing Lofties on a Saturday afternoon at the minute. If you are in Paphos this weekend, I will be at Lofties Bar, which is just around the corner from the old Bar Street. If you know where Charlie's Meeting Pub is, or the Alexander, then it's around the corner from there. Lofties, I'll be on from 3 till 6, 3 o'clock till 6 o'clock on this Saturday afternoon. Come in. It's very, very laid back. I do a laid back show on there. Come in armed with a few things as to who your favourite singers are and what you'd like me to play, because it's very much a request spot. And it's very laid back, good atmosphere, good people in there. Next week though, from not this Saturday but the following Saturday, I'm going to be going to the evenings. I'm going to be going back to the 9 till midnight sessions, and that's going to be more normal. That's going to carry on throughout the summer, and that's going to be at Lofties. I was supposed to be doing a gig on St. Patrick's Day at Alfie T's, but because of circumstances outside control, that's had to be cancelled. So if you were going to come and see me at Alfie T's on the 17th, I'm afraid that one's now cancelled. That was a week Tuesday, I think. So very unfortunate, that one. There's personal circumstances come into that one, which I'm not going to go into. But yeah, basically, if you want to see me at the moment, then it's going to be Lofties on the Saturday, and the other venues where I would normally be going into just haven't got the footfall. It looks like I'm probably going to be back in Kiko's. I'm hopefully still on the Monday nights. Kiko's snack bar up in Coral Bay, hopefully from the beginning of April. That'll be on the Monday nights, and that's 9 till midnight. I really enjoy doing that. In fact, the 2 venues I'm doing at the moment, I love doing them. They're really good fun. So that's the situation on that one. Yeah, ask a few questions if there's anything you want. It doesn't have to be about Come to Cyprus. It can be anything. Quick update. I think I said this in the last live stream. I'm not making it as a big thing on a video for it, but Sue's been delayed for her coming over from a permanent point of view. We were looking towards March, but she had a knee operation in February, and that's put things back a little bit. So we're probably looking towards the end of the heat area, because we're not bringing the dogs over in the heat. We've decided, people have said they'll be fine, they'll acclimatise. I don't care. I don't have pets. I have 2 dogs. They're not pets. And people say dogs are like family. They're not to me. They are family. They're not just like family, they are family. And with the older one at 12 and a half, the older cockapoo with a big tight coat as cockapoos do, we just don't feel it's safe or fair for the dog to put him through that sort of heat at his age. So it'll probably be late September, beginning of October that we're looking towards Sue coming over from a permanent basis. I can't wait. But she is over tomorrow for a fortnight, and that should be pretty good. What else do we have? Generally over here, things are hotting up. The temperature, for those of you who are interested, it's been a bit of a longer winter than normal. I've been out here early in the year and it's been warmer, but it's getting up to the 21 degrees most days at the moment. Still a bit chilly in the evenings. I still take my fleece out in the evening time, but back into shorts and t-shirt most of the time. But it's about 21 degrees most days. But the sun's starting to really build up. All those storms we had a few weeks ago are gone, and that's absolutely wonderful. So I'm looking forward to that. The other thing I'm going to tell you about is the memberships as well, because I'm going to do a little bit of a thing on the membership. I've got some really good members. I've got the memberships up to about 20 now. Not a huge amount, but some really valuable people. Thank you, all the people who've come on as members. There are 3 tiers of membership, and I don't have why don't I have the note? I'll never have these things with me when I want them. But there's 3 tiers of membership. The basic membership, which is I think it's £5 a month, and that's basically a support for the channel. There will be, once I get some more people, there'll be shout outs on some of the videos as to who those people are, if they want to. Be very careful. I'm not going to put anybody's name up who doesn't want to. So, you know, that's the thing. And if you are one of those members, or if you're any level member, let me know if you don't want your name up, because I won't put it up. Where's my, oh, there we are. My OBS had disappeared off the screen for a second. The middle tier of membership, the silver membership is, I think, is £10 a month, and that will give you things like pre-release videos. I did a pre-release video yesterday of a trip to Tala, sorry, not to Tala, to Konya. I do pre-release videos on that. There's other bits and pieces which are coming in, which I'm slowly developing because the membership's still very new. So I'm going to be doing that. And the gold membership gives you some behind the scenes, so things which I don't necessarily want everybody to see. But I'm also doing some things like chatting about how I produce my videos on that, which aren't for the normal path to pathos. It's outside the scope for that. But there's a lot of the people who watch us are interested in what I use to do my videos, what gear I use, how I edit them. I look around the gardens. They've got some of the music videos which are copyright. I can't put up on YouTube as a monetized thing on the channel, but I can put up as an unlisted for my members. So the gold members can see things like that. And for the gold and silver members, I'm going to be starting to organize some Zoom meetings as we get more people, as the year goes up, so we can actually see each other, because, well, this is very one-to-one. And I love being on this. I really enjoy being on this. It's a chance just to waffle away and chat. And nobody interrupts. It's great. Nobody interrupts. But I can't see you. All I see is just the little, I've got the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 in front of me. So I've got the little screen there. I've got my iPad here. And I've got this little magic eye which stares at me, glares through me. Doesn't alter, doesn't move, but it stares at me. But of course, with a Zoom meeting, I can see different people. So I'm going to be organising some Zoom meetings for the members, the initially gold members, but I might be opening up the silver members. So that's all in the pipeline. I'm really looking forward to that. I've had a couple of comments come in. I'll come back to the membership in a second. So I've got some ideas. I'll tell you in a sec. Guprit, I want to come even in this wartime. I hope the hotel starts getting a lot of tourists, so I get my ticket very soon, hopefully in the first week of April. Well, I hope it does for you. I hope it all works out for you, because it is a great island to come on and work on. I don't think the wages are necessarily terrific, but I know a lot of people from the sort of Indian subcontinent who are over here working, from Punjab and Nepal and all sorts of places like that. And I meet some of these people, some fantastic people. And so, yeah, come across, because I'm sure you'd be welcomed here. And we need people to come across and revitalise the tourist industry. And without good staff, hotels can't do that. So, yeah, it'd be good to see you. Alex, hello, Alex Glass 5700. Evening, Brian. Sorry, I've been late. Watching the Arsenal. How did they do? I know you were looking forward to that one. And how's your good lady as well? I hope she's well and not too bored with you watching the thing. Kicked off. Oh, he kicked off the pink slip process with Gwynny's this afternoon. I'll talk to you privately about that, but I'm really pleased about that. And I hope, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or good or bad on the comment, but I'm presuming it went well for you. It's 1-1. All right, okay. Is that full time? Must be full time as you come on here. Oh, so a draw. Yeah, I hope that process is going well for you, Alex, because again, I said this to Gurpreet a few seconds ago, but you know, you're the sort of people that the island is really looking forward to coming across to live here. Fabulous. So far, so good. I'm pleased about that. I will talk one-to-one. As I say, Sue's coming out. So I'll probably, I need to find out what her timetable is, but I'll probably give you a call and meet up with our friends the Mains. Now, I did say about Cyprus Light before, being a new channel. One of the other channels on here, as I say, I'm very, very happy to promote other people's channels. I love the idea, because it really does give a good Cypriot community. Excuse me a moment. Try not to deafen you. I think the channels which are generally out here are very, very good. I think they give a really good insight and a really positive insight to Cyprus. And on that, I've mentioned these a couple of times on the channel, Paul and Tamar, Mains in Cyprus, M-A-Y-N-E-S. So it's at MAYNES.in.Cyprus is their channel. Lovely young couple come across here, and they move further up towards the Pier area. Check out them, but if you get the chance with Alex, hopefully we'll meet up with the Mains and with you and Sue, because she's coming across tomorrow. If you do get the chance to give a thumbs up, by the way, I really do appreciate it. It does help the channel. I'm going to have a quick drink, excuse me. I know it's getting warmer actually, because I've got some, this is grape juice, and I had it in the fridge. And as the temperature rises, if I don't adjust the fridge goes into overdrive. And I was pouring slush rather than drink out before because it had all semi-frozen. So the temperature outside must be rising. Yeah, on the membership thing, what I am going to do is I'm going to do a special. So anybody who's on here at the moment, I've been here 12 months. I'm going to be giving 12 months of free, well, 12 people a month's free membership on the gold level. So what that basically is, I need email addresses, unfortunately. The only way I can do through Buy Me a Coffee is if I have the email address, because it sends you an email and says, do you want to be part of it? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving out 12 1 month free memberships. So you'll log on, you'll see what the gold membership's like. If you want to carry on, then it'll ask you if you want to subscribe. If you don't want to, you say thanks very much and walk away. But if you would like to be on the list, and there'll be a random list, and I'm going to do this in a week or two's time, and I'm going to be saying this in some of the other videos. If you would like to be on the list to be possibly drawn out, then all I need you to do is I need you to email me. Don't send a message, I need your email. And if you send me an email, I get the email address, you see. So I need your email address sent to me, which is at Brian James Singer. So is that right? Brian James. I can't remember my own address. Hang on a second. Do you know what? I can't remember my own address. I'm becoming totally old and senile. Where are we? It should be in the thing. It's my iCloud address, which I want to go to. So it is one word, no dots, anything. So it's Brian James Sings, BrianJamesSings at iCloud.com. So if you would like to be put in for the draw for one of 12 1 month freebies, then send me a thing to say you want, and just put in the message. In fact, you make the title membership draw. So just send me an email to brianjamessings at iCloud.com. I will pull 12 email addresses out of that in a week or two's time. And you will, if you're successful, you will find that you have a little email come up and say, would you like a free membership for a month? Sign up for that. No obligation on that. And if at the end of the month, as I say, if you don't want to, then it'll time out, and that's fine. Doesn't charge you for anything. But apart from that, that's where we're at the moment. I am busy doing a couple of other channels. I have my music channel, Reverend Brian James, which is coming back up. I've been doing, again, because there's not many gigs, I'm not doing too much on that, but I'm having a little bit of a play and I'm starting to expand that one. My photography channel has been quite quiet because I've been putting my efforts elsewhere, but that will be picking up. And I've started my business channel as well, which is tuition channel. It's for a long time I've been teaching leadership and team working and communication skills and all sorts of things aimed at businesses. So you might say, if you see Business Boom Club, it is me, but it's aimed at a different thing. If you have an interest in that, then it's at Business Boom Club. You can search on it. But basically that's going to be a channel which is going to be aimed towards teaching leadership, management, teamwork and everything like that for either university level or junior to middle managers in business. So it's a totally different sort of thing to this. But if you see it, that's what it is. Alex, our Airbnb host has had a couple of cancellations due to concerns of the perceived situation. I'm hearing that everywhere. We discussed it just the other day as well, but it really is sad. It's a very, very sad situation there. People are frightened into this. But again, who was it before? Was it Leslie, who said that even though they're not scared about the coming out, because of the other people being scared, it meant that the flights couldn't take place. So even people who want to come out here are having problems. And I think that's really sad. I don't have a way around it. I really don't have a way around it. What I do know is that, and again, I try and avoid the politics. I did a sort of slightly political video the other day. I do apologise, but I had to get it off my chest. But what I have noticed is that I think the UK has lost a lot of credibility when it comes to things like the Cypriot government and some of the other European governments. I think the lack of action from or the lack of perceived lack, because I actually think that if you were to go and see the guys and girls at Akrotiri or Episcopi or Decalia or Troodos, I think they would tell you that they have been flat out working hard and doing an awful lot, which isn't being reported in the news, an awful lot to keep the place very, very safe. But the perception outside is that it's been a total failure. If there's anybody who's forces watching this, who's UK forces watching this, and I know one person that's on here has a relative in the forces in Cyprus, I will put 99% certainty those people have been doing a cracking job. I wore an RAF uniform for 45 years, regular forces, reservist and volunteer reserve. And I spent a lot of time with the forces. I understand how they work, understand what they do to a very large extent. And those guys will have been very, very busy, very, very busy indeed. So although what we're seeing from the UK government may be soul destroying and may be embarrassing, I'll tell you that the guys and girls who are actually at the front line, who are actually doing the work, will be doing a cracking job. So never get the two confused, please. Alan Hall, hello, Alan. We'll be out again as soon as we can. Be good to see you back. Be good to see you back. This island is a strange one, you know. It's one of those places, we started coming here 30 years or so ago and enjoyed it. I don't know if my sister's still online, but we came out to see my sister when she was across. My brother-in-law was based at Akrotiri. My sister worked on the camp as a civil servant, so she'll probably back me up if she's still on here. But the guys on the camp will be doing incredible work. But it's one of those islands where it makes you keep on. If it does get hold of you, it gets hold of you bad, and you suddenly find that you come in twice a year, 3 times a year, 4 times a year, until eventually you think, oh, all right, I give in, I'll just come and live here, which is really good. Yeah, I'll speak about my sister, actually. I was saying about the fact of people working. When she was over here, we're talking about late 90s, but I remember there was quite a lot of forest fires. We've had forest fires last year, which were horrendous. But I remember that there was forest fires around Akrotiri area and some of the other places, Episcopian places. And the British forces were out there fire beating and putting the fires out and working alongside the Cypriot locals and really working hard and putting themselves in danger to try and save what they could on this island without going too bad. And that's the sort of thing you never see in the politics. You never see the government going on about all the things that the forces do. You see some of the bad bits. Again, bad news sells papers. But yeah, there's an awful lot that the armed forces do over here, which integrates them into the community. In fact, there's another viewer. I haven't seen him come up, so I'm presuming he's not there. Excuse me. My friend Daniel has just got a job over here on the base. I don't think he's going to mind me saying he's a paramedic. He's coming across here. He wants to come across and live here anyway, but he's managed to get a position on the base, and I'm over the moon for him, because it means that him and his family got the opportunity to come over here and be part of the community and productive in it. So there we are. That's Wednesday, the 11th of March. I think I'm probably going to wind this in, unless there's any more questions or comments. As I say, I'd love to see your questions and comments on here. If you do watch the video, if you're watching this afterwards, or even now, please give a thumbs up and a like. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, please consider subscribing. It's one of those things that always sounds a little bit, oh goodness, all we go. All the time, can you subscribe? But the real reason is, especially now, YouTube is not promoting videos and not promoting small creators anymore because of this thing changing to a more TV-based thing. They want the big money coming in, and we're not big money. And for us to actually succeed, the numbers themselves aren't super important. Although I have one of those sort of strange things. I love to see more subscribers, but if it gets to a certain number and I look again and it's gone down by one, even if it's one person out of the, was it 4,700 plus, I get really down. Oh, what have I done to upset them? You know, I get that. So from that point of view, if you can subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't commit you to anything, but it does make a huge difference. All it does is put it in your subscribers timeline, but it makes a huge difference to how YouTube actually deals with the videos that small creators like me make. The thumbs up also does, and also doing things like putting a comment every time you put a comment, because YouTube's interested in the advertisers. Now, I know the advertising's a pain. I don't have a say on that. If I switch advertising off, you still see adverts. It's just that I don't get anything from it. But I know the advertising's a bit of a pain, but that's what YouTube actually exists on. So by you leaving a comment, giving a thumbs up, subscribing, and viewing longer into a video as well, it gives all the statistics to people to say, this one's worth advertising around, so therefore we'll promote it more. So it's all about promotion. So if you can do those things, you really, I really do appreciate it. Alex, maybe off topic, but have you bought a car, or are you leasing or renting? I bought a car, yeah. I came across in March, hired a car for the fortnight. When I came back again, we'd already arranged to have a car for a fortnight then as well from the same hire. We usually use Enterprise at the airport. Found that'd be great. A guy called Paul who does the cars. If you're watching, Paul, thank you very much for that. You really looked after us. Not just last year, but several years we've been using them, at least sort of 5-6 years. I started looking around for cars, and it's a different sort of thing. I've been ripped off in the UK with cars over the years, and I looked around over here, and one of the things you got to remember, it's over here, they are advertised in a different way. They rarely put a price on. They'll put a for sale sticker on, but they rarely seem to put a price on. And quite often you don't know how old the car is because the license plates are taken off. So you've got to go in and start making some negotiations. The other thing is a lot of the cars in dealerships look absolutely scruffy because of all the dust that gets blown around the place. So I looked around a few places. There were places I liked the look of, there were places I really didn't. But I wanted something fairly small and neat. I'd hired Nissan Notes over here. In the UK, I've got a big Mercedes ML. It's an old one, but it was my baby. It's not coming over here for various reasons. It's fallen to pieces. But I realized that I wanted something smaller and neat and had to be automatic. And because I've been hiring Nissan Notes, I rather like them for what they are. They're actually a bit of a TARDIS. You get in the back, they're huge. For a small car, you get in the back of it, there is so much room. It's incredible. So I looked around and I eventually went to SC Cars up in Clorica. And I liked what they saw. They had a couple of Nissan Notes in. One thing, if you are coming across here, second-hand cars are incredibly expensive compared to the UK. They hold their value. There's very little rust over here, which is one big thing. And also, people, when they buy a new car, tend to keep it for a long time. It's not usually this 1 or 2 years and trade in for something new. So it is quite difficult to get older cars, but most of the older cars are actually quite decent, although obviously the specification changes over the years. So I got a 2014 Nissan Note, which is the second generation, the facelift. The first, that wasn't in a facelift, it was a second generation, a proper second generation. I think only about a 1200cc engine and have an elastic band to drive them, it feels like. Varimatic, I hate varimatic transmissions, never mind. It never feels as if you have any control on what's actually going on between the throttle and the speed. You put your foot down, the rev counter makes lots of movements and the noise goes up, but you don't seem to accelerate anymore. It does the job though, ideal for what I wanted. So we bought that. It was £7,500. I went to a dealer more than anything else because I could have bought some private sales and got something less expensive. But the procedure for buying cars over here is very different to the UK. Before you can buy a car, you have to have insurance. So you have to get the insurance before you can get the car registered to you and taxed and on the road. And it just seemed easier going to a car dealer. SC were fine with me. I would recommend going back there quite happily. They were absolutely great. They had the car prepped up for me. The hardest part was being able to get back up there from Universal, because if I drove up there, I had a hire car, which I had to either leave there. How do you get the car? I had to have a lift. Um, Somebody's ringing me. Or texting me. Yes, I know. I'm online. Leave me alone. Anyway, so yes, we bought the car outright. I think it's €59 a year to tax. Gone with a local. I took some advice on where to go for the insurance, and got a really good insurance company. And that was SC put me onto them, but I've had no problem with the insurance, including when I wanted an extension to get my son put on when he came across. The car's in joint names, Sue's and mine, so if anything happens to me, then we don't have to worry about probate and things for the car. It's her car as well as mine. But yes, it had 149,000 kilometers on the clock, which is about 98,000 miles. I think it had been a hire car. Most of the Nissan Notes are, but it was fine. It was just what I wanted to do. It's now got 10,000 more kilometers on, so it's 159,000 kilometers. It had one issue, which was a coil pack gave in, which is common. I think £90 worth. So yes, I bought the car, not renting it, just didn't seem worth the hassle. And I'll have it for quite a while, and probably it'll have a good resale value, because that's what happens over here. Alan Hall again. I've been coming over the last 20 years. I spent a year up at Bataras, but prefer Paphos now. Seen a lot of the island and love it. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. And what I love is the difference between the east and west. The east is very flat, very farmland, lovely. The west, you've got the Olympus Mountains, the Troodos Mountains, I should say, Mount Olympus and all that sort of thing. And then you get across, there is a temperature and a humidity difference between the two. But I keep on going on when I'm talking to people about the fact of the culture over here. And I'm not just on about the historical culture. There is a culture where things are done, the speed that things are done, the way that people react. As I said, just buying the car, the different ways that things go on. And I love that. And one of the things I have noticed, I don't know about you, Alan, as you've gone across the island, there is a change in culture, change in the way that people are. You go to Nicosia, it's a very different place from Larnaca or Limassol. Paphos is an incredibly different place to Ayia Napa and Pretaris. They've all got their own charm. There's not one of the places I dislike. And I've been coming here 30 years or so on and off. And like you, I've been all over the island. And I've seen some changes on the island as well in that time. And for 20 years, you'll have seen some big changes. But I just find that there's so much to see. And if you do get into the archaeological side or the mythological side or whatever it is, the island has such an incredibly rich, textured history. And I just find it absolutely awesome. So yeah, I'm totally with you on that. I love it. Nobody's forced me out here. Nobody's cajoled me to come out. Nobody's coerced me to come out. I've come out here because almost from the first time I came here, I fell in love with the place. And I've been here more and more and more. I'm still falling in love with the place. Doesn't matter what's going on in Iran or Iraq or Syria and things like that, or Israel or Palestine, all those things which are going on, and they are serious issues. Don't get me wrong. I'm not belittling any of these things. They are serious issues. But Cyprus seems to just be this little bubble of calm, this bubble of serenity, and in the Mediterranean. And the Mediterranean is such a beautiful, beautiful piece of water. If it wasn't for the little bit of water beside Gibraltar, linking it to the Atlantic, this would be Europe's largest lake. And it's not actually that long ago, centuries-wise. It's a few centuries, but it's not that long ago that this was not a big waterway. So this is a fairly newly developed place. It's only, it's not hundreds of centuries old. Geographically, it's a fairly modern place. So you've got an awful lot good going on here, and it's just beautiful. I can't knock it. I've got no regrets being here, and no intention of running away from the place because of anything that happens. Tony, GJ8TO. Hi, Brian. Is inflation evident? Fuel, food, etc. Yes, it is. Again, I don't think it's as bad as in the UK. One of the good things about Cyprus, compared to the UK, for a good while, the inflation rate for the last year or so has been between 0 and 0.5%. I mean, it's tiny, the inflation rate. Again, I'm going to cough. Excuse me a second. So inflation here is very, very controlled. But I have noticed fluctuations on the prices at the pump. It's not a huge one. I'm getting reports from the UK, much, much different variations. But over here, it is noticeable. Food depends on where you get it and what you're buying. If you're buying the British stuff through the supermarkets, you're going to the Lidls of the world, or you're going into some of the places wanting to get the British brand names, you're going to pay a fortune. I see people spending a fortune on Warburton's bread or something, things like that. If you're willing to buy the more local produce, especially the fresh stuff from some of the fruit markets and the fish markets and things and the meat markets, there is some amazing food over here, which is very, very inexpensive. Some of it means a bit of a change of palate. So if you want to have your fish and chips and things all the time, you can get them. You can get anything over here. But a lot of what I tend to eat over here is things like my sister got me onto this. Lunza, halloumi, a lot of local vegetables, a lot of local fruit. They look a little bit strange when you're used to buying supermarket things where they've all been sprayed in something. But that's part of the beauty. It's not sprayed in these horrible chemical preservatives. You're getting stuff which was probably in the field that morning. And it might be a little bit odd shapen, but when you start eating it, when you've cleaned it off, it takes a few seconds, you have to clean the dirt off it. Wow, that's great. But you start eating it, and the taste, the flavor of things over here is amazing. And it's a very much that Mediterranean lifestyle insofar as food, which, by everybody's reckoning, makes people live longer and keeps them fitter. The diet over here is much better. But it is slowly going up. But if you buy locally, buy savvy, it's very, very little at the minute, Tony. Hello, Keith. How are you doing? Advertising is a pain, he says. Then it goes straight to one. I've been getting that, sorry about that. Shame you don't get a kickback. No, well, I do because the advertising, because the channel is monetized, it does. If I switch my monetization off, you're still going to see adverts in the middle, unfortunately. The only way to get around that is for you to subscribe to YouTube. They get money. This subscription method of everything is annoying. I've been doing some playing around with AI recently, and it's all a subscription-based model, and you get so many credits, and that's getting expensive. That really is getting expensive. And I talked to my sister, actually. I say my sister's got 2 fabulous channels, and she's a lot more professional than I am. And one of the things that she really gets is some really good incidental music from a library, and she told me who it was today, but she's got 2 channels. It has to be separate license for each channel, and it's costing about £240 a year. So, each channel is about £120, and I mean, it does work for her. It is very, very good and guaranteed copyright free. However, it's a lot of money when, if I could make the money on YouTube from my monetization, it'd be worth, but I just don't. So this subscription model for everything goes up. So yes, I do get a little bit. It's monetized. So you get this, whatever it is, amount. It's if I get a few pennies per video, I'm doing well. But it is a pain. And if I switch the monetization off so I don't get it, you still see the adverts. So sorry about that, Keith. It's the way it goes. CJK 1943. Hi from Sebago. Is that Sebago? Sebago Lake in Maine. Interesting state, Maine. Yeah. I take it it's Maine in the United States. I had a friend who came from Ashland, Maine. He was in the US Air Force. I was Master Sergeant in the US Air Force. And I lost track of him, unfortunately. But Maine's an interesting state. You get some interesting weather over there, don't you? Hi to you. I hope you're doing well. Well, it is 22:59. And whoops, one more, Alex. Not enough for the Ferrari yet, bro. No. I'm just gonna have to settle for something, mediocre and boring, and Maybe go for an Audi or something like that. No, not enough for a Ferrari yet. I think I'm going to be having to do a huge amount more videos than that. Having said that, there are some people who can get enough money from, but I did a video in January because somebody had a go at me um, about all the money I was making from it, and when we worked it out, it was quite pitiful, really was. Never mind. It is now 2300. It's over here in Cyprus. That makes it 2100, 9 o'clock in the UK, and 10 o'clock over most of Europe. And I've been on for an hour. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you do see me in the street, please never be afraid to come up and say hello. If I'm even if I'm with somebody, I'll usually try and say hello. I always try to be very good man and say hello to people. So if you do see me, please come up and say hello. I love meeting the people from this channel. I really do. As I say, if you would like to be put into the draw for a month's free gold membership, please send me an email to, one word this is, all lowercase, brianjamessings@icloud.com, and just put it down to membership draw. Just put the title as membership draw, and I will draw 12, one for each of the months that I've been over here. So I've been here a year, so I'll draw 12 email addresses from that in a week or two's time, and you will receive, if you're fortunate enough to be one of those, you will receive an email telling you that you have got the membership and just to get onto it, and you can get through on that. So yes, if you are interested, please do that. Again, as I say, that's Cyprus Light. I've got to find it again. I will try and check that out, and I'll probably put a link down below on this one. Have a great night. Have a really enjoyable time. If you are in Cyprus, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the friendliness, enjoy the food, enjoy the drink, enjoy all the things over here, because it is wonderful and very safe. If you are in the UK, unless the plug's pulled for you, unless the rug's pulled from under your feet, don't worry. If you want to come across here, come across. It is incredibly safe, incredibly welcoming. And if you don't come across, then you're the one missing out, not anybody else. And from a final one, Alan Hall. Oh no, it's two here. And we'll finish on these two. Oh, you buy me a brekkie tea for two when next come up. Oh, thank you. I do like breakfast at tea for two. I started doing my rate my breakfasts. I've only done one, tea for two. I did enjoy that breakfast tea for two. Alan, thank you very much. I will look forward to sharing a breakfast time with you. And Alex, good night, Brian. Good night, Alex. Good night, everybody. And I shall see you soon on the next live stream. Bye-bye. If I can find out how to switch it off.